The next help video is on Unit 2, Lesson 3 of Algebra 2A. It is on point estimates, interval estimates, and margin of error. Now, before we get rolling on our practice problems, it's probably important that you guys understand the vocabulary that you're going to see. So a point estimate is a single number from your sample that best guesses the population value. So for example, if 60% of a sample likes pizza, then 60% is that point estimate. In generic words, we could think of the point estimate as being your best single guess. So if you were to pick a point estimate, margin of error represents how much you could be off from the true population value. You can then calculate your margin of error. Okay, it's what you add and subtract from that point estimate to make your interval. And your interval is going to have like an upper value and a lower value. So for example, if the point estimate is 60% and the margin of error is 3%, then your interval or your certainty is going to be between 57% to 63%. So you would subtract 3 and add 3 to 60 to find your interval. But in just generic terms, margin of error is your wiggle room around your guess. Point estimate. Now, last but not least, your interval estimate is think of it as your confidence interval, right? So, when you find that estimate, right, you add 3 or subtract 3 from your final, you can then conclude we are 95% confident that between 57% and 63% of people like pizza. So we can summarize that your interval estimate is your point estimate, either plus your margin of error or minus your margin of error. And that will find you your upper interval and your lower interval. So now we need to find the interval estimate of the mean weight of the town stray cats in the form of your lower limit, comma, your upper limit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our point estimate, which is 7.3, and we're going to take our margin of error, and we're going to either add 1.1 and then subtract 1.1 to find your interval. So when I do that, I get 6.2 for my lower and 8.4 for my higher. So now we need to find the margin of error. And to do that, we can simply find the mean of our upper limit and our lower limit. And to find that, we're going to add them up. So we're going to take 0.39 plus 0.47 and divide it by 2. And when we get that, so our point interval, I should have put, not our margin of error, point interval, is equal to 0.43. Now, the difference between these is our margin of error. So if we take 0.43 and 0.47, the difference is 0.04. So your margin of error is 0.04. If it asks for a percent, you would move the decimal over 2 places to the right, and it would be 4%.